Hi everybody, it's Webbo here. We're going to talk about the Sensit Haptics Haptics MTC-P Extreme Seat setup with GT7 Gran Turismo 7. I've got a lot of questions after my initial first impression test. I've been testing this out now for a few weeks, and I've actually tested it in league races, probably 4 or 5 now. And I've been tweaking the settings through Simhub. So we'll see exactly what this all looks like, and I just want to help you get set up as quickly as possible. I can assure you that after that first test, when I was using this pass-through capture card only as an audio output, the seat insert is amazing. When you start using Simhub and actual UDP telemetry directly from Gran Turismo through your PC, man alive, it is another level of utter immersion. I use PSVR 2 as most of you know, and having the feedback in the seat as well as what you can see, 360 using the PSVR is absolutely sublime. So let's get you onto Simhub. I'm assuming that most of you will know about Simhub. I didn't, so I'm going to start from ground zero here on Simhub. So you launch up, you set it going, you get to choose your favorite simulators. Obviously, some of them will, some of them won't have PS5 compatibility. The key ones, I think, are GT7 and the F1 series. I will do a video if you're interested. I will do a whole setup on F1 24. I assume it's going to be quite similar on F1 25, but let me know if that's what you're into. I also can't wait to give Farming Simulator a try. Yes, I'm a Farming Simulator fan. Yeah, essentially, you're going to set up your game. You're going to hit the game config screen where you put in your IP address of your PS5. It really is super simple. All you do is your IP address. I'm not going to click that because obviously I'll reveal my IP address. But the other thing that I had to do was to set up port forwarding. This port 33740 is the default for Simhub, but it's the default for most telemetry recording devices, and our SVR Hector client also uses that. So I had to just adjust Hector. I had just raised it up to 1 and did a port forwarding to 33741, and it was just completely easy. And I'd say this is the first time I've ever used anything like this. So my Sensit Haptics is plugged into my PC. You want to find it using your Sensit base shakers, and these are the settings that I have set up. GT7 doesn't have everything, but it has a lot. My gain is set to 100 over the master gain here, the global gain, sorry. My car and my profile is set to GT7, the RBJ, car code number 2078. That's the car I drive most often, as you'll probably see in my league racing when I'm on GT7, certainly in 2025 anyway. That's been my go-to. And I've kind of ranked these. I've moved these around using the slider button here, but I've ranked these using the most helpful, or at least the ones that I've set to dominate most, and actually I've moved all the ones that I don't use or that GT7 doesn't use right down to the bottom here. So you see the ones marked in red are the ones GT7 doesn't communicate, but it's incredibly fun. You've got traction loss. Obviously these are from the previous video when I was using the native software just as an audio device, and I was getting moderate amount of feedback in comparison. Competitive equivalent, I think, from that app is the traction loss, wheel spin and wheel slip, and then I've just got some other cool stuff. The gear shift is great, just a little jolt, especially in VR, a great little jolt there when you're changing gear, which is super. And then some stuff around G-forces, impact, going over curbs and that kind of thing. Lateral G-force, I adore lateral G-force because you get a little push on your left or your right hand side, just when you're racing, when you're going through those extra high load corners. Road vibration, RPMs. I've got the RPMs on at the moment, and I'll open this out, and you'll probably see that because I'm sitting in a lobby at the moment, I've actually got the vibrations running right now. So if I hit the test, what happens is that communicates through my seat now, and it gives a test for that frequency. Now, I haven't done a lot of messing around with the bass effect frequencies. Everything is mostly on default, apart from one key section here. But you can see that because I'm sitting in the lobby, the live effects are running, and I'm actually getting a small amount, because I've got it turned down to 31% here. I've got it getting a small amount through. And you choose exactly where you want all this to be set, and I'll have to just show you how that all works as well. Speed with curving was the most difficult one to get set up, and that is relative. It wasn't that difficult, but I did have to reach out to Sensit Haptics, and they helped me out working this one. I must say that my base position here was that I started with another YouTuber's setup, and she was using it for iRacing, and it really didn't apply to GT7 at all as far as what suited me and how it works. So I used that as a base, and then I pretty much messed with everything. And over the course of the last few weeks, I've been playing with this and customizing how much or how little I want to be feeling in the seat. So with speed with curving, that is the key one that took a lot of adjustment, and you see the test here will run, and you can actually get that test to run immediately. What I had to do is to change this to manual. I think it's manual is written here somewhere, but essentially copy these. This is a Red Bull Junior car. It's a downforce car. It's fairly equivalent to an F3. And what you can see is the response curve. I've changed the response curve so that it gets stronger as the speed increases. These are my low and high force, because you don't really want G-force essentially feel at lower speeds than I would suggest 100 kph. But this is how I have set mine up. As I say, only generating turns is checked. I think there's some manual setting somewhere that I had to switch to, but if you can, try and copy this and then adjust from there, because honestly this is really great. I really like this one, but it just took a little bit of experimentation before. There it is, there's the manual switch. We've got just to the right of effects settings, you've got auto. Everything's on auto usually, but I had to switch to manual to get this to operate properly, because by default you switch it on and basically the seat is just resonating the whole time. A little bit like the RPMs, but just much stronger, even just sitting in the pit lane. So I turned it off to start with, and then we got going. But anyway, let's have a look, shall we, at how this works. I will perhaps use this gear shift because it's perhaps the most obvious one, and you've got the live effects. So we will get out of the pit lane here, and you should start to see this start to build up, and then we will get those gear shifts as we go through. Now, for the purpose of demonstrating, I'm using a controller, so I am completely unfamiliar with how to use the controller. I'm usually in the seat itself, but I just to give you the best demonstration, and so that I can move around the app most easily. You've got this. You can see the gear shifts happening in real time. So I'm going to just head down, and then we'll have a look at something else. I'll see if I can make the wheels slip. It's quite difficult. It says GT7 does not provide this. You can complete with traction loss effect. So let's just go up to traction loss, which I've set to 100%, and let's see. We've got a little bit there. Can you see just on the graph a little bit? There we go, there we go. That was me just using the e-brake. And then you can get that wheel slip, and it's so cool. It really is amazing. And then you just want to play around with what you need, what you're looking for from every every aspect. And one of the best tips I can give you is to set up to get this going, and then to press your pause button, and the auto drive takes over, and then you can concentrate on changing the settings as you go. So you've got your acceleration G-force, you can see it working at the moment. I would then increase or decrease the effect as I feel like it's appropriate, and I can see on the screen what's going on the track. And you can, let's have a look at, I don't know if it will in fact go over any curbs or not, but let's have a look. You can see how great, how amazing the sensitivity is on this. As we go over the curbs, there's a nice little spike there, and you can start to really tune around with exactly what you're looking for. This will be nothing new for anybody who has been into bass shakers before, but the key here with the Sensit Haptics is the number of bass shakers. A lot of people are racing with 2 bass shakers, sometimes as many as 4 on each corner of their rig. But if I go to the is it the sound output? Give me a second here, sorry, yes, it's the sound output section. You can see this, I've got this sound output selected, and you can see I am running the Sensit Haptics. I have got 8 separate outputs. Now, unfortunately, the default here is showing that they are completely out of sequence. So you can see the numbers at the end, at the edge of each one. I've put are the default numbers. You've got front 1, front 2, and so on. I've had to relabel all of these, which is quite easy to do. You just click on it. I've had to relabel them so I know exactly where they are, but I kept the numbers in for your sake, so you can see how they correspond to what generally comes through by default. So you can see I've got everything active, which channels I've got what on, ABS active on all but the left and right in the back, which should actually, I think I should be writing that. That's the seat left. So those are the back of the seat, rather than, so I've got the ABS coming through essentially under the front of the seat and on the back itself. The G-force I've kept to the what is it? The top. I'm just getting the G-force through the back cushion. I felt like that was better to make that happen. Then I've got down here, jump landing is only coming through on the front of the seat, on the left and right side. Lateral G-force, I've got the left and right happening on the seat and the just on the seat, so the far left and the far right options here. Missed gear just in the back. I didn't feel like I needed that in the seat, but the road vibration likewise just through here, and I've just got front left, front right, rear right just in the seat again, and you can just see all the different settings that I've set up here. Typically the road wheel feedback, I've gone for the left front and all on the seat essentially, so default numbers 1, 2, 7 and 8, and then the ones that are relevant to the engine, impact, G-force, I've got going through the back sometimes as well, but often differently. So I've tried to key this up. I think I might have got this one slightly wrong actually. I think I want wheel spin and lock. No, I think that's fine. Low back and front seat. Essentially, so that's how I've got that all set up, and this is so much fun, honestly, just playing with this, letting this run and just tweaking. But this is where you start with your 8 different output channels, using the awesome Sensit Haptics MTC-P Extreme. So I think that's given you a good tour of all of my settings, and you can see the ones that I have got set up here, the levels I've got. I might further play with the hertz output, essentially the frequencies of each, but honestly, fabulous piece of kit. And just to completely reassure you that all of this is working brilliantly with GT7. Wheels lock, obviously I've got the computer doing it at the moment, so they're not going to lock the wheels, but if we have a look at something, let's have a look at that speed with curving while we drive. you should hopefully see on the higher speed corners, which we happen to not be in right now. We're going to go through Dunlop and then we'll go up the hill towards the Michael Schumacher S. Let's see if we get anything coming through here as we build the speed through the corner. There we go. There's just the most subtle little bit on the right when we turn left, and on the left when we turn right. Honestly, fabulous, and it just gives you that extra feedback. And I genuinely think it has made me a much more intuitively feeling sim racer. Remember, I am using the cheapest, most basic wheel and pedal set. So this is my main source of feedback now. Is coming through the seat. I think it's fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. If you've got the budget, then please, make sure you go for it and click the link in the description. You can get yourself a discount as well using my affiliate link. So, if you've got more questions, please reach out. Let me know. I will. If I get enough interest, I'll look into F1 as well. But just to give you absolute reassurance, the system works fabulously on PS5 with GT7. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll catch you next time.